Is Sara Adams a fraud or a hero? So, guys, talking to my buddy earlier today, the Prepper Revelator, talking to him, we were talking about a bunch of shit going on, and we're talking about how seemingly everything is fraudulent these days. Like everything that the Trump administration promised, the people he put in play, they're not doing anything that they said they were going to do or promise to be good. Now, I know it's only 4 months in, and some things do take time. I understand that. But we got onto the subject of Sara Adams and her bullshit. And I told you guys before in my video when I talked about her, I'm not sure if it was on the Angry Truth or the Angry Prepper, but I'll put it here. I remember stating that her body language in that interview with Sean Ryan was way the fuck off. And it didn't make sense and it didn't feel right. And that all of this shit she was spewing, and the fact that she's spewing all of this information from the CIA just didn't click with me. There was something off. And the fact that she was rattling off all this information from supposedly the CIA, and she was still around, and no one took her out, I started thinking a little bit after I did the video that she had to be a plant of some kind. Because look at Sean Ryan. Now, a couple of people brought up Sean Ryan's channel growth after having her on, and his videos with her in it, how they skyrocketed after that. And I'm wondering, was that just a tactic to grow his channel? Now, I looked for her podcast. She doesn't have one. I don't think she has a YouTube channel. I couldn't find it. But I know that she works for a consulting company. So obviously she's an ex-CIA targeting officer. And her job as a targeting officer was to look for people, organizations, and see if there's a pattern in a threat towards the United States in a roundabout way. That job actually starts at $70,000, and I think top pay is at $105,000. So if you're interested in being a CIA targeting officer, there you go. But still, something just wasn't right about the whole thing. So now she rattles off all of these things that could happen within the next couple of months, or rather in the next month or so, and now we are 4 months in. So she made these claims it was aired back in January. I'm not sure it was filmed in December of 2024. Nonetheless, here we are in April, approaching May, and nothing has happened. Now, people were giving her accolades for the attack on New Year's Eve in Louisiana, and that's not the attack she was talking about. She was talking about an all-out, multi-level, multi-location attack happening throughout the country. And then you had this one, and then you had the thing in Vegas where the Tesla truck exploded in front of the hotel out there. So again, not the attack that we were thinking, and not the attack that she was explaining. And so nonetheless, the internet gave her all of these kudos, and I'm like, but she didn't, we knew that was going to happen. Like everything she said, and when you go back on it, that's been being said for years after 9/11. After the 93 bombing, they talked about that. They said that we were going to have these problems for the foreseeable future. And then 9/11 happened, and then they said, yep, we're definitely going to start seeing more of these things attacks happen, and we didn't. We saw shit here and there, not at the rate that they were talking about. So now, enter Sara Adams, and she talks about this wild, and granted, I heard about this as well years ago, not even years ago, a couple years back, through the fire department. We do a terrorist training every year, and they talk about the probability of these things happening. And they said that it can happen between now and 10 years from now. Sara Adams made it sound like it was going to happen in the near future, and we haven't seen anything yet, or at all, rather. And I don't think we are, because if we play this game, the FBI and CIA seemingly are on top of it, and they only let certain things happen that they want to happen. But the grand Mumbai-style attack, now for those of you that don't know, Mumbai was an attack overseas. I want to say India, but I'd be wrong. And these terrorists came off a boat and land, and by car, and attacked the city of Mumbai. And it was at multiple locations. And that's always been a theory, especially here in New York City, where there was one officer, forgot his name, chief, talked about that style of attack happening here in New York. Hasn't happened yet. But that was a theory that he came up with. Sara Adams said the same thing, but she said nationwide, and we haven't seen anything like it. And do I think we're going to see something like it? We definitely could. When? Who knows? That can happen now. That can happen 15 years from now or 30. But the simple fact, guys, that she was rattling off all this information and made it sound like it was going to happen within the next 2-3 months, and here we are on month 4 and nothing. Now, could they have foiled that plan? Possibly. Not told us? Maybe. But again, the way she's situated, the way Sean Ryan's channel grew, there's something there that I don't like. And again, watching her in those interviews and the way she's sitting down and all relaxed and chill and shit, I'm like, wait a minute, you're talking about the fate of America in the hands of people trying to disrupt it, and you're sitting there cool, calm, and collected. And I'm not saying that she was supposed to be sitting there all nervous and shit, rubbing her hands together, oh my God. But it was her body language, her verbiage, the way she spoke. That is not somebody that's trying to warn the American people that some bad shit's about to happen. It just isn't. And the fact that she was rattling off all this CIA information and she's still around, those are giant red flags to me. But I bring her up because I think, guys, we're just in the realm of bullshit. And everywhere we look is bullshit. You got Trump fucking bullshitting us. You had the Biden administration bullshitting the shit out of us, and a lot of us saw through a lot of that shit. You had Kamala Harris trying to tap dance her way into bullshittism. She didn't win, thank God. But now we got Trump, and there's a lot more bullshit going on. Then you have, and I bring it up constantly because the CIA, Sara Adams, she's a CIA targeting officer. She knows all these organizations. Well, why don't you put your fucking money where your mouth is and look for the missing kids that are in the sex trafficking industry that you know who runs it? Let's start there. Forget about the terrorist organizations. We'll handle that shit as it happens. And not so much we, the local police departments are going to handle that as it unfolds. But why don't you sit there and look for all the missing kids that have been kidnapped and are now in sex trafficking? Because they're full of shit, and so is Sara Adams. And the CIA, and the FBI, and the DEA, and everybody else involved. They're full of shit. Anyway, guys, this is The Angry Prepper. Thank you for watching the Angry Truth channel.